I have Report 3 open. We're going to go through the instructions from Footnote and Endnote Reinforcement Practice. So if you're looking at that, first thing it says to do is replace focus with emphasis. So I'm going to go into replace. And I'm going to tell it to look for the word focus. And I'm going to make that a whole word because it could be focused with an ED or focusing. So it's important to put whole word there. And we're going to replace it with emphasis. Now if you want to double check on everything, you can tell it to find next and then replace, or you can just say replace all. And it replaced it 3 times. The next thing is to take may appear and replace it with might seem. So I'm going to come up here to find what and type may appear. And as soon as I hit the space bar, whole word has to go away because now it's 2 words. And then I'm going to replace it with might seem. And just to double check, you can go find next. And if it fits, you can say replace all, and that's it. Click OK. And you can close that. Okay, then it says to create a header that will appear on all but page 1. And it says put your name at the left margin and the word page and the page number at the right margin. So I'm going to insert a header. I'm going to edit header. And if I don't want it on the first page, I'm going to click different first page. It says first page header. That will stay blank. I will go to next section, which will take me to the second page. And notice that it's a 6-inch line, so the center tab should be at 3 and the right tab should be at 6. I'm going to adjust those. And I'm going to type name, so I'm just going to say my name. You would put your name. And then over at the right margin, I'm going to type the word page with a capital P. Hit the space bar, go to page number, current position, and I want a plain number. And because we're on page 2, it comes up with page 2. So we have it on page 2. It's not going to be on page 1 because we chose different first page. And I'm going to close out of the header. Next it says to type your name as the byline under the title. So I'm going to go Control Home, where it says by question mark. That's where you're going to be putting your name, so I'm just going to put my name. Okay. Then it says to place these footnotes after the red words. The first red word is here. So right after the period, I'm going to go to References, Insert Footnote. And when I do that, I'm going to type my name, comma, and I'm just going to type what's on that cell down there. And when you end the footnote, make sure you type a period and enter. And then if you made any errors, you can go back. I'm just going to put a spacer after my comma. But I do have a period and an enter. And then at this point, I can go ahead and look, and I have my first footnote inserted there. I'm going to locate the next red word, which is down here. So I'm going to click after document. I'm going to insert a footnote and type it in. Be sure you space after the P period, so that's P period space and the page number, period, enter. Okay, so that has our second footnote, and I'm going to keep cursoring through. I'm finding another one here in page 3. That's my third and last one, so I'm going to insert a footnote there, and this is going to be home improvement or home construction. Period, enter. Okay, and now we are done with the footnotes. Okay, it says to go check for widows and orphans. I'm going to go Control Home. I'm going to start looking at the end of my pages to see if I see one line of a paragraph left. And so far I don't see anything that would be a problem, but it's always a good idea to check. Okay. And it says to save the name to include the word footnotes, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to File, Save As, and I'm going to call it Footnote Report. Okay. Now as I do this, it says to move the first footnote to the end of the last paragraph. So I'm going to go Control Home. I'm going to select just the number. So that's all I want. It's just that superscript number. I'm going to cut. I'm going to go Control End, and I want to place myself right after the period and paste. And now I've moved that footnote to the end. And I'll save again. Okay, so what we want to do now is look at these footnotes and realize that we need to make them the same point size as the body, and it's in Times New Roman 12. And we also need to indent the first line. So to gather all of the footnotes at once, because we can go into reference and show notes, but we're not going to see all of them together. But if you go to the draft mode and then say show notes, it opens up a footnote pane, and I can make this bigger here. Now here they are. So if I go Control A to select all, I can either go into the paragraph dialog box, or I can right click and go Paragraph and go Special First Line Indent and say OK. And then I can go right click, and I can either go into font, or I can just go right down here to Times New Roman where it says 10 and make it 12. Now notice that the first line of each footnote is indented. If it's too long to fit in one line, the leftover or the turnover lines come back to the left margin, and we have one blank line between footnotes. To close out of this, I'm just going to click the X over here. I'm going to save it one more time. Then it says do a save as and include the word endnotes and in the title. So I'm going to go to save as, and I'm going to make this Endnote Report and save that. Okay, we're going to convert the footnotes to endnotes. So I'm just going to go Control Home, and I'm going to go to the footnote launch button, and one of the choices here is to convert. So So I'm going to go to Convert Footnotes to Endnotes and click OK. And then close. If you go Control N now, we're going to see that we have endnotes instead of footnotes. And they're not going to show up in draft view, but if you're in print layout view, they're going to show. I'm just going to back up right now just to get right at the end of my endnotes and show you at that point we need to make a new page, not a section break, but just a new page. So I'm going to go Control Enter to give it a new page. Okay, because the endnote should be on a separate page. I'm also now going to go Control 1 to go to single spacing, and I'm going to come down and I'm watching my status bar until I'm approximately 2 inches from the top. And 1.9 is about as close as I can get. I'm going to center by going Control E, and I'm going to bold by going Control B. And I'm going to put on caps lock, and I'm going to make it called My Name and Notes. Just so when this is printed, that we can go ahead and have everything just the way we want it. Okay, getting pretty close here. We need to get rid of this line, and we need to change these small Roman numerals to Arabic numbers. So in order to do that, you need to go back to draft mode, and then we go to show notes, and you can make this bigger if you want, just like a curtain there, like a shade on a window. We're going to go to all endnotes and go to Endnote Separator, and once you see this, then you can select it and hit delete and then close it. And I'm going to go back into print layout now and see how we're almost there. Now we just need to make those numbers change. So I'm going to go back to the launch button, and I want to now put this on endnotes, and I want to change the number format to Arabic. And I'm not going to hit insert, because if I do, it'll put in an empty endnote. I need to hit apply, and now we have the look we want. So endnotes are now on a separate page. They're 2 inches from the top, and they're in the same point size as the body. You have a blank line in between, and the first line is indented, and you have Arabic numbers. So I'm going to save that again, and that concludes this demo.